What's up, guys? Welcome back. We are playing My Garage today, and we're going to be starting on the restoration of this Jason, or as known as the Chevelle in real life. We got this last time. We bought it from a local guy up the street. If you guys watched that episode, you will see we had a lot of interesting things happen, to say the least, in that video. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it because you're missing out. You definitely are missing out if you haven't watched it. Uh, so go check that one out. It is the last episode in this series, so it won't be hard to find. So we're gonna start the restoration process of this car. What I think we're gonna do is I'm gonna tear this whole car apart and try to start over again and build this whole thing up with all new parts, body panels, frame, everything new. So I'm not going to save anything on it, because that's what I like to do. I like to build things completely 100% new if I can. So that's what our plans are for this one. It's going to take us a long time to do that. Also, we had issues with this truck, if you guys recall from the last episode. Well, I said that I was going to try to maybe get little Louie to possibly give us a refund back for our money. And, well, that is a good idea. I thought, you know what, why do that if we're going to decide to get rid of this truck? And that's what I think we're going to do, is get rid of this ramp truck, because I'm done with the ramp beds. I'm done with the trailers. I'm just done with them. Just how the state of the game is with them, I'm just done with them. I'm over them. We have this pickup truck over here that we have, our shop truck, that we hardly ever drive. So why have two trucks, especially one like this that's a complete buggy mess? It's a good truck. I did some repairs on it off camera. Now, I did I did do some body work. I did fix it up a little bit. I cleaned the truck because it was pretty dirty. And then, there was a lot of damage to it from rolling around, from being buggy in that. There's a lot of Bondo work or body filler work that you see that had to be done with it. We're going to replace this ender fender here that's all rusted out. And then we're going to do some rust repair on it and paint it. And then we're going to actually sell the truck. And we're going to make some pretty good money off of selling this truck. So that will also help fund our repairs for this car. So we'll be going back and forth as we go through. As we go through work on this Jason here, we will go through and we will switch back and forth between the two vehicles until we complete that truck, and that will help fund us what we need to do for the Jason. So I just want to start pulling off some body panels and that from this Jason. It's time to get to work. We've talked long enough. Most of you guys have already clicked off the video already. Because you got a lot of you guys out there, man, you don't like to give a feller a chance to explain some things. Because then if I wouldn't explain some things, people would be like, oh, what's going on? And even when you do explain things, you still get that. It's just, it's wild out there. So all this stuff we can take down to Steve-O, down at the dock. I'll probably do that off camera because you guys know what's going on there. You guys have seen it multiple times. You probably don't want to see it again. It's kind of boring taking all these parts down to Steve. I'll just get those bolts like that then. Oh, that's actually a pretty good handbrake. 100%. We're going to keep that. Might be the only thing we keep from this car. I think now we just got to start chopping it up. What do you guys say? I think so. So we will have to get the plasma cutter. She ain't got no roof, boy. Cletus, where'd the roof go? I will say, since the new update, man, when we have, I think the rust looks better with this new update, and now that we get holes in the body panels that can be repaired, but I know probably most of us will choose to probably just replace those ones with the holes like that. But I also know there's going to be a good amount of people that will do complete repair on those type of holes in the body panels. Which there's nothing wrong with that at all, you know. And that kind of stuff just makes the game more detailed. More detailed than the game had before. So that's definitely a nice addition. Get the radiator support off of there. Yeah, it's pretty rusted out bad. Heck yeah. It's looking good. Alright, well. Maybe pull off the front tires next? Set these just over here out of the way. Oh, you guys remember how this rear rim here disappeared because of all the chaos and the bugginess in the last episode? But when I loaded back in, the rim was back there. So, who knows? I sure don't. Throw that down. That all just drops down there. We will have the torsion supports that we got to pop out. That's not a big deal. We just got to grab the pry tool. Is the pry tool over here still? Yeah, I was using it over here. Yeah, you can see this truck is not perfect. You can see the trim is kind of in there, but the issue is that there's still some more body work that needs to be done on this truck, like the roof part of it. But every time I go grab the hammer, the hammer icon comes up. But then when I go to beat on the panel, the hammer icon goes away completely. Same thing with the Bondo for the roof. So, yeah, I don't know what the issue is. Usually I don't get that kind of thing to happen, you know, which is a little odd, but, you know, I'm not going to question it anymore. At this point, it is what it is, and that little bit of body damage that's still there isn't really going to matter too much at the end of the day. Pop these two guys out. Everything off over here? Yep. Let's cut this guy off. I think here, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Oh, heck. That's 100%. That one is not. And they're freaking out. All right. So let's, as we cut up apart the car, I know I've told you guys before, it's always best to, as you're cutting a car apart like this, to quick save every once in a while when you're cutting a car apart, because things can go wrong, and then if they do go completely sideways and you can't put the car back together for some reason, then hopefully you can go back to your last save spot, and then you should hopefully be able to correct things from there. We're not at the point yet that we need to worry about that kind of thing, usually I say, but you never know with this game. But it's still smart to quick save, so just give it a second to quick save. Well, it's going to take more than a second, but you guys know what I mean. And then after this, we're starting to lose some light again because the days go so quick, so we're probably going to sleep until the morning again. So let's do that. Probably one more there. Yeah, it's pretty decent. All right, so all right, let's get back to work now. Where's my handle at? Right here. There's my welder handle. I want to pop off this. How do I want to do this? Probably firewalls next. Maybe not. It's gonna pop off now. There we go. What condition is this guy in? 50%. Let's get our rockers off on each side. That didn't sound too right. Maybe it's that one too. Yep, that was it. Throw the rockers off to the side. see if we can get this torsion support out. We'll drop out. Yeah, there we go. We had a problem with the last car we cut apart with getting some of these parts off of it. Now, this will have to come apart because then you got your transmission bracket or support. All right, weld show up. There we go. What I'm trying to do is I need to get this main floor off because then we can start assembling the front end. Okay, and then we can go and move to the rear end of the vehicle. You can do it vice versa any way you want, but you can't just cut the whole thing apart and just expect that you can just put the thing back together, because that's not how this game works. There we go. So let's go in here to the Jason. The heck was that? Oh, I thought that inner panel there sitting out there was something floating in the air. I don't know why I thought that. Okay, so we need a Jason. There it is. So we need a floor. And we need... Let's see. I'm just going to buy all new. If I'm buying all new for everything else, why not just buy that $128 panel? Now we're going to need our welder. Yeah, and some of you guys know that the MIG welder by FedEx was updated a week or two ago. And a lot of you guys have heard it, do not have a problem with it showing up in-game. But me, I've tried several times. I've re-downloaded the mod and took it out of my mod folder, put it back in. I've tried many different things to try to get the MIG welder to show up. And I can't get it to show up at all in my game, which is... it kind of sucks a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Weld's going to show up? Huh? Any day now. Any day. Oh, you know what? Maybe why they won't show up. Because I need a firewall. That could help. Sometimes, when something happens in the game, when you think it should happen, sometimes it's not always the game messing up. Sometimes it's personal error or player error. Like there, welds weren't showing up for those because I didn't have the firewall in. I was thinking for a minute, oh, the car or the game is having issues. But no, it was just me not putting the car together correctly. Look at those. Welds show up. There should be one down there, but I don't know why that's not showing up. Maybe they will at some point. Hopefully. So now we need a transmission support bracket. Let's buy that. We're going to need it. We're going to need this guy too. Okay. that back. We'll tack this down. This has 4 bolts. This will go right back underneath the floor. And this welds up to the bottom of the floor. And now those show up because the transmission support is there. There we go. So far, so good. Hopefully we keep it rolling. So now the front end of the car, for the most part, at least the inner workings of it, is complete. Now it's time to move to the rear end. And I know you all love a nice rear end. Go. Those came off easy. I thought there was a couple more welds for each side, but I guess not. That one does not want to come off. We had an issue with that one on the last car, I think. But we'll see. We'll see if we do or not. Let's try to get these wheel wells out of here. That one popped off nice. Oh, that might be why right there. Some of these welds are kind of hidden. Just because of how poor condition this car is in. That's what makes them hidden. I think at this point, it's probably smart to take off the rear wheels and get the suspension out from underneath. I think that's a good play. Yeah, I like the Jason. You know, it's a cool vehicle, right? The Chevelle or Jason has a nice look to it, and it seems like you guys like the Jason too. Because, like I said, I've had at least a few people request me to do this car. They would like to see this as a project, so here we are. Doing the Jason as a project. Okay. Might as well just throw this over here. Oh yeah, Steve's gonna love us once again. yeah, we have a... This might need to come out. I'm not sure. %. I wondered if it was going to be 100% because our handbrake was 100%. So let's keep these two parts. I thought this axle would just pop out of there. There we go. Yeah, and I still have the lad sitting over there, the low miles lad. That I said to you guys, you know, if anybody wanted that played this game that knew how to transfer barns and my garage cash in the barns, let me know. I'll let you buy that off me for $14,000. But so far, I said I'd wait a day or two, and it's been over a day now, and no one has said anything. But that's probably because no one's really watched that far to the end of the video. So that's probably why. Just like you guys, most of you won't hear this because you won't watch this far into the video. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, not trying to call you guys out or anything, but, you know. Let's just say a feller knows. Okay, now for this truck, it just comes down to rust repair, really, and most of it is on the bed. I think the truck only has this little spot right here, and I think that's it, I think. So these over here. It's getting dark once again. You know, I thought like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it's probably been almost 2 weeks now, that the developer put in a small little fix update to make the days longer. But whereas that patch been on Steam to come through, I saw that on the main My Garage Discord. That's where I saw that at. In the update. So I don't know where that's at because if you guys remember, right after this update came out, the NIV, some of the welds weren't showing up on the NIV, and he put the update through and fixed that, supposedly. And about 3 days later, that patch hit Steam for everyone to update their game with. And I don't know where that update's been at because my game has not updated since that little patch update to fix the NIV welds and whatever else it may have did. But yeah, that's it. So I'm wondering because the days have not got any longer. The days are short and the nights are long now. So all right. So I think what we can do now is continue with all this. Is it those, or do I need those two? Middle frame support. floor M or possibly floor middle. Okay, so maybe those will not come out, and I might have to wait to get those to come out on reload. I don't know. Nope, they fell out. Or at least one did so far. Nope, they both fell out. Cool. Okay, so let's grab all the floor and rear end pieces. So we need a middle frame brace. Forward trunk, both frame rails, middle panel, this rocker panel. We'll need a middle lip, a floor M, rocker panel, these guys, and those. So lots of parts. What we're gonna need is these to start. Okay, frame rails are tacked back on. We need this guy and this guy. Get our floors placed. One of my favorite parts about this game is putting cars back together like this, building cars up. There's something that is just so cool and satisfying about it. Okay. I think that is good. Man, I love it when things just go together correctly in this game. Man, it's a good feeling, actually. It's been a long time since this game has ran this well. Make sure I don't see any more welds. All right. All right, guys. Well, we have most of it assembled except for the exterior body panels, if you want to call them that. I am looking for a couple more parts. Make sure there's not any more welds underneath. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, that's not a weld. Okay. Okay, so we have to have the bumper first, probably. I would have to say for the fuel door to go on. That's what that is the fuel door. There we go. Sometimes these parts just hide from you. All right. Where is... I bet it fell down in here. Yep, there we go. It's the only thing I don't care for on those toolboxes is every time you load back in, all the tools that were in the toolbox are on the floor. It's the only thing I don't like about it. But other than that, it's a phenomenal furniture pack. But everything is basically complete on this car, guys, except for the exterior body panels, doors, hood, trunk, things like that. So we put basically most of this car back together. Well, we're not counting the interior and all this other suspension and engine and all that, right? We're just counting the frame and undercarriage and most of the body. So, if you guys like this video, please leave it a like. If you like my content, like my channel, consider subscribing to me. All your support is greatly appreciated. And if you guys aren't subscribed, I would really, really, really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel, please. I'm on a quest to reach 1,000 subscribers, and we are more than a quarter of the way there, guys. So, I would appreciate it very much if you just hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing. So, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.